will the Venus Project happen in our lifetime? That's up to you. There's three parts to this question. When will approximately your next movie come out? 2010, idealistically October, but I want to have it out sooner. As long as I can kind of silence some of the administrative stuff that I'm trapped in right now, I'm hoping to have it out sooner, but we'll see. That film is going to verify a lot of the stuff that we've been talking about in a concrete fashion. I see this film as really the beginning. Third part of the question, will sports exist in the Venus Project, or will there just be exercise? Sports will transform into personal betterment, not the us against them competition. What's a good example of this? Well, I think Jacques' example is profound, where he talks about a tennis player who goes and he plays against a virtual image of himself in a technological / acoustic, if you will, environment. So you have a tennis ball that's coming at you, say it's against a wall that's designed where it can instantly know and project the ball's angle and instantly angle that ball back at you like a professional tennis player might do. And through time it could actually mimic your exact performance as it evaluates you as you play. So you're competing against yourself. And that's really what the whole competition should be. Take the game of pool. Pool is an interesting game because it's not the same type of competitive, real-time competition that you tend to find in the world today. It's not like tennis. It's not like football. It's not like soccer. Pool, when your opponent shoots a shot, all the balls stop. And in the end, in the analysis of it, it doesn't matter what your opponent thinks or does per se, because you have no control over that. Only in preparation for their shot do you have control if you were to play something like defense. But all the cards are on the table openly and in a stable state, meaning that even if your opponent didn't exist, it wouldn't matter. So your game of pool is really contingent upon yourself. And it actually doesn't even matter if you win or lose. It's contingent upon the quality of the shots that you make, and you can analyze yourself as you do it. It's bizarre to me. If you want to know a great tip, and I'm throwing this out there to make a point, of how to approach, say, the game of pool in a competitive environment, I say this to make the point that competition is meaningless. It's meaningless in the sense that it doesn't do anything to even feel that type of push, is if you just ignore your opponent entirely and pretend they're not there and shoot every shot at an isolated basis, you'll have a much less emotional response and you'll perform most likely in a much higher degree. When I was a kid, my father taught me to play pool. He's a very good pool player, and I reached my peak of pool performance at about 12 years old, and I would go and play in tournaments against people that were 40, 50, and 60, and I was amazed at how angry they would be. These 50, 60-year-old guys, they'd be so irate by being beaten in a tournament by a 12-year-old kid. And it was amazing just to see how irrational and idiotic the whole thing was. Immature, childish, silly. And unfortunately, that is the summary of most competitive sports as we see today. Competition in sports is one of the most profitable games there is. We pay these athletes more money than we pay any scientists, so naturally they're going to gravitate towards heavy political sponsorship, heavy promotional sponsorship, and all the things that are relevant to keep the crowd in that state of mind of competition. It's a colossal distortion. I think I'm rambling a little bit too much on this one, but there really is no such thing as competition against someone else. There's only competition against yourself, and that's not competition, that's improvement. If you have to value yourself by comparing yourself to what others are doing, you're suffering from a dramatic form of neuroses. Number 8.